In this video, I want to talk about why Stranger Things works so deeply on a psychological level, and why these characters don't just feel fictional, they feel human. From the very beginning, the show wasn't really about monsters or alternate dimensions. It was about fear, trauma, and how people respond when their world stops making sense. 11 represents raw trauma and survival. She's written as someone who never learned safety, only control and escape. That's why her power is tied to emotion. When she's calm, she's weak. When she's afraid, angry, or protecting someone she loves, she becomes unstoppable. The writers use her as a metaphor for childhood trauma turning into strength, but at a cost. Every time she saves the world, she loses a piece of herself. Vecna, on the other hand, is not just a villain. Psychologically, he's written as an embodiment of unresolved pain and nihilism. He targets people who are already broken, already blaming themselves. That's important. He doesn't create trauma, he feeds on it. This is why his victims are people like Max, who are trapped in guilt and depression. Vecna's philosophy is simple and terrifying. The world is cruel, so burn it down and start over. That's why his idea of a new world sounds almost logical to him. The writers intentionally gave him a worldview that mirrors real-life radical thinking, making him more unsettling than a typical monster. Then there's Will's psychology is subtle but crucial. He's the emotional compass of the show. He feels things before others understand them. His connection to the upside down isn't just supernatural, it's symbolic. Will represents sensitivity in a world that punishes it. That's why he's always aware first, and why his pain is often ignored until it's too late. The writers could have given him more agency earlier, but by holding him back, they've made his eventual role feel inevitable rather than forced. Steve's popularity comes from something very specific: visible growth. He starts as shallow confidence and turns into protective maturity. Psychologically, people connect with Steve because he fails publicly and improves openly. That's rare. Dustin represents curiosity and optimism, the part of the human mind that keeps asking questions even when things get dark. He balances fear with humor, which is why audiences trust him. What Stranger Things does better than most shows is that it treats fear as internal before it's external. The upside down is not just another place, it's a reflection of the characters' inner states, a darker mirror of unresolved emotions. The writers could have added more quiet moments in later seasons to let this psychology breathe, instead of escalating scale every time. But the core is still there. That's why people stay emotionally invested. You are not just watching a story unfold, you are watching characters confront the parts of themselves they've been running from. And that's what keeps audiences hooked until the very end. Share your thoughts.